Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 404th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I put onto YouTube. As you know, I number my battles, but if I was to name this battle, I think I would name it something along the lines of Never Underestimate Archers on the 31k Battlefield. Okay, as you can see, this battle was fought on a flat, grassy map. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Mad King, who's bought the Macedon faction, and he's got 12 pikes, 4 cavalry, and 3 archers. Okay. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks, who's got 12 Spartan units and 5 Cretan archers. Okay, so that's 12 Spartan units and 5 Cretan archers. Steve's getting really good with Greek cities as well now. And our third teammate is Brotherhood member 8ball, who's unusually bought the Armenia faction. Now, Armenia is looked upon as a lesser 31k faction, so it's nice to see 8ball bring in what would be looked upon as a lesser 31k faction. And 8ball's got 8 heavy spearmen. Now, some of you might not have seen Armenian heavy spearmen before. There's a close-up of Armenian heavy spearmen, and they're quite good, actually, infantry. I see he's got 3 legionnaires there, Armenian legionnaires. Now, if you look at them closely there, you can see they look a little bit like Roman urban cohorts, but they've got nowhere near the specifications of Roman urban cohorts. They can throw pilers, but not very good specifications. I see he's got 3 archers, and they are fully upgraded archers, and he has got 6 cavalry. Okay, he's got 6 cataphract cavalry, and they are also fully upgraded. Okay, so 3 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack for his cataphract cavalry, and fully upgraded archers as well. So that's an interesting Armenian army build. My guess is it's an experimental one 8ball's just trying out. Okay, our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's bought a very old Carthage army, and my army has got 14 sacred spearmen and 3 cavalry and 3 slingers. So there's our team there. Not a Roman faction in sight. Macedon, Greek cities, Armenia and Carthage. This should be a great battle for you to watch. You wait till you see the other team. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at 8ball's Armenia army setup here. As you can see, bearing in mind this is a lesser 31k faction, can you see how he's actually got his cavalry and archers out the front of his setup there, looking like he's going to be aggressive right from the very start. So rather than sit back and let the enemy come to him, it looks to me like he's going to take the battle to the enemy. Maybe that's the secret of using Armenia. Instead of sitting back and waiting to be attacked, be aggressive. Just have to wait and see. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Bark, who's bought the Seleucid faction, and Bark has got 3 companion cavalry, 12 pikes, and 5 archers. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Lando, who's bought the Rome Julio faction. If you notice here, he's got 6 archers, just 9 infantry and 5 cavalry. But I'd just like to draw your attention to 6 archers, and don't forget the Seleucid general there had another 5 archers. These could prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle. We just have to wait and see. Okay, their third teammate is Brotherhood member Aurelius, who has bought the Pontus faction. Pontus is often looked at on as a lesser 31k faction, and I see that he has got 14 pikes, 2 heavy chariots, 1 chariot archer, 1 Pontic missile cavalry unit, 1 heavy cavalry unit, and his cavalry general. But as I say, Pontus is often looked at as a lesser 31k faction, so it'll be interesting to see how well it does. And their last teammate is RV clansman Corndog, who's bought the SPQR faction. Now, Corndog has got 18 urban cohorts and 2 cavalry. Okay, 18 urban cohorts and 2 Praetorian cavalry there, so that's a big lot of pilers that's going to be thrown into us. So there's the enemy team there. Who do you think's got faction advantage? We'll just have to wait and see as the battle unfolds. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, we know that Lando is an extremely aggressive attacking player here, and as you can see him moving his Julii archers forward here to start to target the Macedon pikemen. Now remember, those 120-man units are extremely susceptible to missile damage, and that's why he's moved his 6 archers forward. As I say, Seleucid's got 5 archers, Lando's got 6 archers, and they may prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle. That's why I would name this battle Never Underestimate Archers on the 31k Battlefield. But as you can see here, Lando really targeting those pikemen there. Really aggressive from the start. Okay, you can see that Mad King here is trying to counter with his own archers. But I think he's only got 3 Cretan archers there against those 6 well upgraded Julii archers. So As I say, Lando looking to target, probably would like to take out those Cretan archers first and then target the pike afterwards there. But as you can see, Mad King moving over to the centre here, trying to join up with Steve. Now, this is a really difficult battle to film, as the battle develops into two parts of the battlefield here. So I try and get everything I can in for you. Okay, meanwhile, over here on our left flank here, you can see that the Roman general with his 18 urban cohorts is making a beeline directly for our Armenian ally. Okay, so he's probably looking at Armenia as the lesser 31k faction, and with his 18 urban cohorts looking to steamroller over our Armenian ally. Okay, can you see my Carthage Sacred Band Spear, and I'm moving over there because I want to counter Pontus. Okay, so that's where my target's going to be, is Pontus, and I'll help 8-Ball out if I can against those Roman troops there. But as I say, look, can you see he's moving his Armenian infantry forward there? He's not backing off. He's looking like he's going to be aggressive towards Corn Dog's 18 urban cohorts and 2 cavalry there. So as I say, with 18 urban cohorts, that's a heck of a lot of pilots to throw in. He could do devastating damage to our Armenian ally there before they even get into hand-to-hand combat. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second. As I say, this is a difficult battle to film because the battle does develop into 2 separate battles on one flank and the other here. Okay, so you can see here that the Seleucid and Julii cavalry there are attacking poor old Mad King's cavalry there, but all the time Mad King's 120-man units, as we said before, which are extremely susceptible to missile damage, are being targeted by those archers. Okay, but as I say, this battle does go into 2 distinctive battles on one flank and the other, so it's difficult to film, get everything in for you to watch, but I'll try my best here, okay? But as I say, you can see the Seleucid pikemen moving across as well. But right from the very beginning there, as we know, Lando, very, very aggressive attacking player there. And he's moved forward to take the battle to Macedon. As I say, on the 31k battlefield, archers maybe looked upon as maybe a unit you could bring or not bring, depends on what you feel here. But here in this particular battle, you'll see what I mean by never underestimate the power of archers on the 31k battlefield. Okay, so you can see here Steve's bringing his Greek city units over to merge with his Macedon ally there. Nice bit of teamwork there by Steve. So I think this is going to be a Julii and Seleucid part of the battlefield against Greek cities and Macedon. Let's just pause the game for a second. So as you can see here, you can see the arrows coming in here onto the 120-man units from Lando's 6 well-upgraded archers. I mean, don't underestimate the casualties that those archers are causing to poor old Mad King's pikemen there. Okay, really devastating they will be. Plus, don't forget that Bark's 5 well-upgraded archers are moving across as well. And once he starts using those on the Macedon pikemen, that could cause Mad King even more problems there. We've got Julii cavalry out behind us. We've got Seleucid cavalry out to our flank there. So poor old Steve and Mad King here certainly got it to do there against all those archers and those infantry there. Meanwhile, over on our left flank, you can see that the enemy are moving their cavalry around our left flank there. But as I say, you can see that 8-Ball's moved his Armenian army forward to face the Roman SPQR troops. As I say, he's not backing off at all. He's not standing back waiting to be attacked. He's actually taking the battle to the enemy there. And as you can see here, I moved my Carthage Sacred Band over there as well to try and help him out if I can. But obviously what I really want to do is take on Pontus with my Sacred Band Spearmen. Right, you can see Lando here using his cavalry general, as he always does, extremely effectively, attacking the archers there, those Cretan archers. Lando's extremely good with that fast-moving armoured cavalry general there. A bit of old school being shown there. As I say, can you see I'm moving my Carthage Sacred Band Spearmen shadowing Pontus all the time here? Now I think our Armenian ally 8-Ball here is going to have to make the most of his elite troops, which of course is his cataphract cavalry. Okay, obviously he's got fully upgraded cataphract cavalry, and he's going to make the most of those to do any good against the odds that we're up against here. But as you can see over here, I'm moving my Sacred Band Spearmen over to try and counter those Pontus pikemen. But also, can you see the enemy SPQR general has sent 5 of his urban cohorts over to help his Pontus ally out. Okay, right now you can see the Seleucid archers are joining the Julio archers there to pelt poor old Mad King's units there. Now remember, Macedon morale's really poor anyway, and once they start taking casualties, their morale drops like a stone, and they are susceptible to routing. And with all those Julio archers and those Seleucid archers shooting into them, poor old Mad King's units are going to be losing a heck of a lot of men, and of course their morale will be dropping there. Okay, plus you've got the Seleucid pikemen advancing to engage them there. But nice to see Steve's got his Greek city units there, which I'm sure he's going to help his Macedon ally with there. He'll probably want to take on Julii first and then move units over to help against Seleucid. That's probably be his tactic there. But meanwhile, over here on our left flank, as I say, you can see the SBQR generals has sent over some infantry to support there, to support his Pontus ally against my Carthage Sacred Band, and the rest of his units are at the rear there, probably waiting to attack our Armenian ally when he's ready. But as I say, our Armenian ally here, 8-Ball, is going to have to use his elite cataphract cavalry extremely tactically to make the most of them there. Bearing in mind that he is up against elite Roman urban cohorts with a lot of pilots to throw into his infantry. Okay, meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you can see that Mad King's done a great attack with his companion cavalry there, taking out the Julii general. Okay, so that was nice. Lando probably got a little bit over aggressive there and got caught by those companion cavalry there. So nice little hit there by Mad King to take out the enemy general there, lowering the morale of his troops. So nice hit there by Mad King. He needs to get his cavalry out there now before the infantry start attacking. Okay, now I'd like to draw your attention here to a nice tactical move here by Bark. He's getting his cavalry around the rear, but also he's moved his archers round to the flank, shooting point blank into Mad King's units, causing the maximum casualties he can with his archers there. Nice tactical move there, as well as attacking as with his pikemen there. Okay, so pause the game for a second. As I say, the battle is on two parts of the battlefield here, so I'm going to have to pause it a bit so you can see exactly what's going on. Okay, you can see RV Corn Dog there running his urban cohorts towards our Armenian ally there. Plus, can you see here, 8-Ball has charged his fully upgraded cataphract cavalry into those 5 urban cohorts that were brought across earlier to help his Pontus ally. And if you notice now, I'm running my Carthage Sacred Band forward here to engage the Pontus pikemen. As I say, there's stuff going on all over the battlefield here, and it's one of the most difficult battles I think I've had to film with, because there's so much going on in different parts. Okay, but the Armenian cataphract cavalry there has done really well there, routing those SBQR units. And as you can see here, I am now engaging those Pontus pikemen with my Sacred Band spearmen. Now remember, those Pontus pikes are very long in comparison to my Sacred Band spears, okay? But Carthage does punch above its weight when it comes to the big 120-man units. Right here you can see that the enemy Julii general is really moving his infantry in on Steve's Greek city units there. Just pause the game for a second. So as I say, over here you can see that my spearmen here, and if you can see, we might just have a close look there. You might be able to see the length of the pikes. Can you see the length of those Pontus pikes here in comparison to the short spears of my Sacred Band spearmen? Okay, so there's a big difference in the length of the pikes against the spears here. So what I'm going to have to do is be really aggressive and push my Sacred Band units forward into the faces of those Pontus pikemen there to fight down, to kill the man on the other end. Okay, you can see 8-Ball's cavalry there. Now look what he's looking to do. Look, I reckon he's going to look to get behind those engaged SBQR troops. If he can get his cavalry in behind there, he can get a hammer and anvil attack. His infantry being the anvil and his fully upgraded cataphract cavalry being the hammer. A nice hammer and anvil attack there coming up onto those SBQR infantry, I'm hoping there. As you can see, there's a close-up of the fighting. Those heavy Armenian spearmen are doing really good holding there, but you've got enemy cavalry coming in behind Armenia there, and you've got their chariots as well as heavy Pontus cavalry coming in behind as well. Okay, so I think actually 8-Ball's doing extremely well with Armenia there, the lesser 31k faction. You can see the enemy I've got cavalry in behind Steve and Mad King there. Right, you can see Mad King and Bark's companion cavalry, because they're both companion cavalry, they're fighting each other. That'll be interesting. Well, it looks like Mad King may outnumber him there. But here you can see Bark has moved his archers round to point blank range. They can't help but kill Macedon pikemen by shooting into the flank of them from that range. So that's going to cause major casualties to Mad King there. Plus you've got all those 6 well upgraded Julii archers shooting into Mad King all the time as well. Plus the Seleucid pikemen are advancing straight into Mad King's pikes as well at this time. Steve's doing his best with his Greek cities to help there. Meanwhile, over this side of the battlefield, you can see that my Carthage Sacred Band are advancing into Pontus, and on the other far left here, our Armenian ally is doing extremely well. Right, he's done that hammer and anvil attack. Remember we were looking at that? He's charged his cavalry in behind those engaged SBQ urban cohorts there and has smashed into them there. I'm just charging some of my 3 Carthage Sacred Band cavalry into the fray as well. But that was a nice tactical move there by 8 Ball there. Hammer and anvil attack on those SBQ or enemy cavalry there. That was infantry there. Really nice move there. He's now moving he's now turning defense into attack. If you notice, he's actually attacking with his spearmen now. So he's got his spearmen and cavalry there with their effective against armor maces attacking those SBQ or infantry. So really nice move there by Armenia. As I say, look how well 8 Ball's handling Armenia there. And bearing in mind it's an experimental army, he's doing really good. Okay, over here you can see my Sacred Band's spearmen are charging in, but you can see some Julii cavalry have been brought over from the other flank. Okay, Lando has brought cavalry over from the other flank here to help on this flank. Okay, so not only are we fighting Pontus and SBQR, we've now got Lando's cavalry attacking us over here as well. Probably looking to charge into the rear of our engaged troops there. Okay. So it's a real tussle on that flank. Steve's doing extremely well here over on the other flank with his Greek cities. Let's just pause again for a second to take stock of exactly what's going on. So Steve's doing really well against the enemy Julii infantry there. Really holding out, routing a few of the units there. But as you can see here, Mad King's units have been quite depleted by archer fire. Plus he's being attacked head on by Seleucid pikemen there. And we got to Julii infantry in behind Mad King's infantry as well. And don't forget, these archers, these Seleucid archers, plus those Julii archers are absolutely caning Mad King's 120-man units, who are, of course, very susceptible to archer fire. So as I say, the battle has gone into 2 distinct parts. One on the left flank and left centre, one on the right flank and right centre. Now you can see a lot of enemy cavalry in behind us. Lando's Julii cavalry plus SBQ cavalry are over behind us as well. But as I say, I can't emphasise on how well 8 Ball was done with Armenia here against a massive SBQ army. Really well done to him there. As you can see here, I'm still advancing with my Sacred Band against the Pontus pikemen. I've got SBQ infantry in behind me attacking. Nice hit there by 8 Ball's cataphract cavalry unit there, straight into the back of that Pontus unit, routed it there. Nice hit there. Another hit going in as well. Bang! As that smashes into the back those engaged Pontus units. But as you can see, I've got SBQ infantry coming in behind me as well. Now here you can see Armenia doing, I can't tell you how good 8 Ball's doing with Armenia, a so-called lesser faction against all those urban cohorts. Okay, so he's done extremely well there against them. And as you can see here, he's helping me out as well over here against the Pontus pikemen. But meanwhile, over on our right flank and right centre here, you can see Mad King's doing really good with his MACEDON units there, bearing in mind the casualties he would have suffered from archer fire, and Steve's doing really well with his Greek cities helping out as well there. So as I say, unusual battle here to be in 2 distinct parts of the battlefield and not really connected. Okay, Armenia's just lost his general there. Okay, well now we know Armenia's morale is not very good, so unfortunately I think he's probably going to start Armenian units are going to start routing now because they've lost their general. There's some more SBQR units coming over here to try and finish off the Armenian ally. Right, okay, so our Armenian ally now basically has been taken out after a terrific fight. Great tactical moves there, but he's been taken out. If you notice, I'm running my Sacred Band spearmen over to try and help him there, but I think it's going to be a bit late. You've got I've got other parts, 4 units, 5 units of Sacred Band fighting in another part of the battlefield there, but there's cavalry in behind, which may well try to go into the rear of my engaged spearmen there. Okay, so basically I think there's 1 Armenian unit left now, and that's a cavalry, a very battle damaged cavalry unit, as you can see, and that's the only unit left of our Armenian ally. But all the time here, can't emphasise how much, how many casualties Mad King has been suffering from the archer fire. He's being caught in a crossfire, look, between Julii archers and the Seleucid archers. And being caught in a crossfire is always pretty poor for you. as you will suffer loads of casualties. But as I say, I think Steve and Mad King still doing well here over on our right flank, even though they've suffered a lot of casualties. You can see Bark being really aggressive with his pikemen there moving forward. But as I say, here over on our left flank here, can you see that Julii cavalry charging in, and bang, it smashed into my pikemen there, into my spearmen there, causing a lot of casualties. Probably going to rout at least one unit. Yep, routed one unit, plus I've got Julii infantry charging in as well. So Lando's brought his cavalry and infantry over here as well to assist his Pontus and SPQR ally. Right, can you see the SPQR Roman general is pulling his infantry back? Okay, he's pulling them back there, so that enables me to run my Sacred Band Spearmen over to the other part of where I've got men fighting. You see that Julii cavalry looking to charge in again, and then stops the attack when he saw the spearmen turn round on him there. Okay, so as you can see here, not only have we been fighting Pontus and SPQR, we've got Julii, enemy Julii cavalry and infantry over here as well. Now my troops are very tired or exhausted, and as we know, when you get to tired, very tired and exhausted, their troops morale drops like a stone, and also their fighting proficiency drops like a stone as well. So my troops are in a very, very poor condition at the moment to carry on fighting. Because they're exhausted, they could rout, and there's a lot of SPQR troops still out there. Now, are they going to go across to the left flank to help their ally, or are they going to charge in on me here? We just have to wait and see what the SPQR general is going to do. But my troops are very tired or exhausted, and as I say, their battle proficiency and morale will have dropped like a stone. Over here, you can see 8-Ball here with his last cavalry unit is trying to take out as many of those Julii archers that have been shooting into Mad King all through the battle. He's trying to take as many out as he can. You see here Steve advancing with his Greek city units against Seleucid here, helping our Macedon ally out over here on the flank. So both Mad King and Steve have done incredibly well here on our right flank, bearing in mind the archer fire that Mad King's been taking. Okay, so he's done quite well, but meanwhile over here on our left flank here, you can see that the enemy SPQR general is bringing his units over now to bear to attack my exhausted and very tired troops. Can you see I've got my Carthage Sacred Band troops there fighting those Julii infantry, but I've got a lot of SPQR units coming in, and my guess is those SPQR units have still got probably a lot of pilers yet to throw in. Okay, see, very tired my troops are, and there's a Julii cavalry hit going in, and bang, as he smashes in there. He knows that my troops are tired and exhausted and very susceptible to routing now. That was a nice cavalry hit there by Lando. And you can see, as I say, you can see the SPQR infantry moving in on me now. And as I say, when your troops get very tired or exhausted, their morale drops, and I think my troops are susceptible to routing here. Okay, can you see that Bark charging his cavalry and looking to charge his cavalry in there, but then decides to back off over on our right flank. But as you can see here, I think I'm going to start seeing a lot of my units starting to rout here. Okay, so these guys, some of these SPQR troops are still throwing in piles. And notice here, can you see the SPQR generals blocked any reinforcements from getting across to me? Okay, so none of my allies won't be able to get across to help me there, because there's at least 3 or 4 SPQR units blocking it. We've got Julii cavalry as well as Julii infantry attacking my spearmen. Okay, so I can see units, some of my Carthage units starting to rout already. Okay, I think that's my general. Is that? I'm not sure if my general's still alive there at the moment, but you can see pilers being thrown in as well here, and there you can see the SPQR infantry charging in here aggressively. Plus, you've already got enemy Julii infantry attacking as well, and you can see a lot of my units starting to rout now. Okay, Lando's taking some of his, bringing some of his infantry back over to this flank. He's now leaving the other flank there and coming over here just to finish off my Carthage Sacred Band, and then it probably move into phase 2 of the battle there, where they'll form up to take on our Macedon Greek cities ally, because it looks like Steve and Mad King have won over on the right flank. They've taken out, I think, all the enemy units there, but of course they're still being shot at by arrows all the time, as they have been all the way through the battle, suffering big casualties. As I say, I really want to show this battle to show 31k players, never underestimate the value of archers here. And all the way through the battle they would have been targeting Mad King and Steve's troops there, and I would love to have seen their kill count at the end of this battle, those archers. Okay, but meanwhile here you can see my Carthage Sacred Band units are starting to rout. they're gradually starting to fold now with the attack of the enemy troops on me. So my guess is that my army is going to, there you go, my general's just gone now. I think I got one, there you go. Okay, so all my Carthage army now has been taken out. Okay, so after a fierce fight there, my army's been taken out. I was fighting Pontus, Julii and SBQR troops there towards the end. So I think the Carthage army did okay there, but now you can see the enemy. Remember, the enemy are SBQR, Pontus and Julii there. Okay. And Seleucid. Alright, so Steve and Mad King are now bringing their units over to fight there. This is kind of going into phase 2 of the battle now, where Steve and Mad King have rallied their troops here to take on the enemy infantry there. But all the time, don't forget, they're still being shot by arrows in the back and in the flank, weakening them, taking their morale away with those fire arrows. So, as I say, right, who do you think's going to win here? If you were a betting person, who do you think's going to win this particular battle? You can see still a lot of SBQR infantry left, but Steve's still got a lot of Greek city units left, and Mad King's still got his general left there as well. So, and Steve's still got his general left as well, I think, from what I can see. So they've still got a lot of morale going in there, but of course a lot of their morale is going to be taken out by being shot with arrows. If you notice here, Bark split his archers up. He's shooting at different angles here into our troops there, and you can see the enemy Julii troops closing in on our Greek city ally there, and you can see the enemy SBQR troops closing in as well. And there's that enemy cavalry going in, and bang, as that Julii cavalry unit smash into Steve's Greek city units there. As I say, all the time, those the archers are shooting into the rear of our allies units. The Macedon general's just been routed. Okay, so you can see the enemy charging in here. SBQR cavalry coming in as well. Bang, as that cavalry unit hits. I don't know if Steve's Greek cities are going to be able to hold here against the odds. My guess is probably not. Bang, as that other cavalry unit charges, that Pontus heavy cavalry unit charges in there. And you can see all the enemy charging in here now, and I guess Steve's general has just been routed. So, just going to pause the game here just to show you here different parts of the battlefield. You can see here the enemy team has now won, so really well played, guys. Really good battle there. So you can see the battle's really spread out. Over on our left flank here, you can see this is where Armenia was fighting the SBQR units there, and Armenia did so well against Armenia. It'd be interesting to see how many kills Armenia got. Here you can see this is where I fought the Pontus faction there, and was attacked by all the other SBQR and Julii units as well. Then when we move over to the right flank here, you can see where Steve and Mad King held out here on this right flank and finally beat the infantry they were up against, and then moved across there. But of course, like I say, the archer fire that they were taking all the time, the casualties they were suffering there, was just causing so much morale loss that I don't think they had much chance towards the end there. So I'd just like to say really well played to everybody in the game there, and well done, enemy team. It was a good battle there. Just finishing off, I think, the last of Steve's army there. Okay, so it's an average defeat. I thought it might have been a close one, but it's actually average defeat there. Just like to say, once again, really well played to everybody in the game there. It was a great battle there. Just like to draw your attention to Lando with the most kills, 1,785. Now, I'd like to know how many of those kills were archer kills. Remember, he was shooting all the time into Macedon there, so it'd been interesting to see how many kills he got. Bark got some good kills too, and he was using his archers really well. So probably there was a heck of a lot of archer kills between those two that really took the morale out of Steve and Mad King's army there. That old Carthage army of mine did quite good with the second highest kills in the game, 1,654. 8 ball, Steve, Mad King probably didn't get the kills that he wanted there, but but he still did really well. But of course he was being killed by archers all the time. Now 8-ball here with Armenia, look at the kills that he got, 1,289. I think that's really good kills for Armenia, a so-called lesser 31k faction. So really well done to 8-ball, and bearing in mind that was an experimental army that he bought there, I thought he handled it really well. I didn't back off, didn't retreat, aggressive all the time, so really well done to him. And just look at all the different factions: Carthage, Armenia, Greek cities, Macedon, Seleucid, Rome, Pontus, Rome. Lots of really good factions in this battle, which I hope make it even more interesting. I thought Corndog did good here with his kills. And as I say, really well done to Bark, Lando, Aurelius and Corndog. They're well played, but also really well done to 8-ball, Steve Longshanks and Mad King. Well done, guys. I thought this was a great battle to watch. And as I say, I wanted to show this battle to show how powerful archers could be on the 31k battlefield. It's Spartan Commander saying bye for now, and see you soon.